Dark screen. Absolute silence. Then, from somewhere distant, a knock. Soft. Measured. Too careful. A second knock follows, this time, closer. Louder. Then nothing. A long, unbearable pause. Faint breathing. Not yours. Not from the screen. Somewhere just out of sight. It always starts the same way. A knock. No doorbell. No footsteps approaching. Just a knock that comes from nowhere, like it's always been there, waiting. The kind of knock that doesn't just ask to be heard, it demands it. A dimly lit hallway fades in, long, stretching farther than it should. A single door stands at the end. Motionless. Harmless. But wrong. People ignore it at first. It's easy. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe a lost neighbor. Maybe just some harmless prank. The knocking comes again. This time, faster. Urgent. Then, it speaks. Silence. Then, through the door, a whisper, low, distorted, yet strangely familiar. I know you're in there. The screen flickers. For a split second, just a frame, something is standing outside the door. No matter what it says, no matter how much it sounds like someone you know, you do not answer the door at 3 a.m. A slow heartbeat begins. Distant. Faint. But growing. People used to think it was just an old wives' tale. Something parents told their children to keep them from wandering at night. They'd laugh about it. Until someone they knew didn't show up for work the next morning. Until their friend's house sat empty, lights still on, door left wide open. Until the police reports started piling up. No forced entry. No signs of struggle. Just, gone. The camera lingers on the door. The air seems to thicken around it. The knocking stops. Then, just beneath the doorframe, shadows move. The stories all end the same way. The last sound anyone hears is a knock. Then their name. Then silence. The camera moves closer to the door, as if being pulled toward it. A hand, shaking, reaches for the doorknob. Before it can touch, an ear-splitting bang. The whole screen shakes. You think you'd never open it. You tell yourself you wouldn't be that stupid. But that's what they all said too. Until it sounded like their mother. Until it cried like their child. Until it begged, like their own voice.
Help me!
A flicker, static, an image
of a shadow inside the house, standing just behind the person at the door.
The knocking starts again. But now, it's coming from inside the house. Do not answer the door at 3 a.m. It already knows your name. The last sound, a whisper, right next to the viewer's ear. Let me in. Every town has its ghosts. Shadows that stretch too far, whispers that don't belong to anyone. But here, in Hollow Creek, it's something worse. Here, people vanish. And no one talks about it. Some call it a curse. Others say it's just bad luck. But if you've lived here long enough, you know better. You know the rule. Asterisk, a weathered sign at the entrance of town creaks in the wind. The paint is faded, but someone, maybe recently, has carved a message into the wood: do not open the door at 3 a.m. Introducing the protagonist, a skeptic in a town of fear. Cut to a newspaper clipping on a table: Hollow Creek, the town that sleeps with locked doors. A hand pulls it away, revealing a young man, Ethan Carter, 26, journalist. Tired eyes. City clothes. A laptop open beside him, half-finished notes glowing on the screen, local folklore or something more. He sighs, rubbing his temples. Ethan Carter never believed in ghost stories. He wrote about them, sure. Exposed frauds, debunked hauntings. It was his job. But fear? Real, gut-wrenching fear? He'd never felt it. Not yet. Asterisk, a flickering motel sign hums outside his window. Ethan checks his watch, 2:30 a.m. He takes a sip of coffee, eyes drifting toward the window, toward the empty street outside. He doesn't notice the silhouette standing under the street lamp. Watching. Unmoving. Thunder rumbles in the distance. The air feels heavier. One every year. A person disappears without a trace. No break-ins. No struggle. Just gone. The only thing anyone ever hears. A crackling police dispatch recording plays, static. Then, an officer's voice, nervous, unsteady. Police recording. Asterisk dispatch, I don't know how to report this. House is locked, alarms still on. No sign of forced entry, but the family's just gone. Neighbors say they heard something before it happened. Not screaming. Not breaking glass. Just knocking. And a voice. A voice that sounded like the recording cuts off abruptly. A shaky home video, two teenage boys daring each other to go outside at 3 a.m. They laugh, whispering about the town legend. One of them inches toward the door. The other films. If you ask the older folks, they'll tell you the legend. They'll tell you about the first one who disappeared. A little girl. 50 years ago. The old home video continues, the boy reaches for the doorknob. A knock cuts through the silence. They freeze. Another knock. This time, closer. The screen glitches, distorting violently. Then, nothing. The footage ends. Back to the town, an elderly woman sits on her porch, rocking slowly. Her eyes distant, haunted. Elderly woman, soft, hollow. Her name was Mary Whitmore. She was only 8. Her mother swore she tucked her into bed that night. But by morning, she was gone. No footprints. No sign of a break-in. Just the front door, wide open. Like someone had invited something inside. A black and white photo, a little girl, smiling, frozen in time. The neighbors heard it first. A voice, just outside their windows, whispering her name. Over and over. They thought it was a prank. They didn't know. Ethan's first night, the knock comes again. Cut back to Ethan, his laptop screen now filled with articles, police reports, interview notes. He sighs, rubbing his eyes. 3 a.m., the clock on the nightstand blinks mockingly. The motel room is eerily silent. Then, a knock. He freezes. It's soft. Too soft. Like a child tapping at the door. Asterisk, another knock. A little louder. Measured. Waiting. Ethan lets out a shaky breath. His rational mind fights the fear creeping in. Ethan, muttering. It's just someone messing around. Locals trying to scare the outsider. Asterisk, then, a voice. Muffled through the door. But clear. Too clear. Ethan, let me in. Dark motel room. The glow of Ethan's laptop screen flickers against the walls. The fan hums softly. Outside, the wind howls through the empty streets of Hollow Creek. But inside, it's silent. Too silent. Ethan glances at the clock. 2:59 a.m. The numbers pulse in the darkness, a heartbeat counting down to something unseen. Then, the power flickers. The overhead light sputters once, twice, then dies. The fan slows to a stop. The room drowns in darkness. And then, the knocking began. A single, deliberate knock at the door. Not loud. Not frantic. Just, patient. Waiting. Ethan sits up. His breath hitches. His first thought. The front desk. Maybe another guest. Maybe just, coincidence, asterisk asterisk. A second knock. Louder this time. Then a third. Rhythmic. Precise. Almost too perfect. His skin prickles. Ethan reaches for his phone. No signal. The screen glitches, flickering before cutting to black. His breathing grows heavier. Ethan, muttering. Okay. Someone's messing with me. Then, the voice. Muffled. Distorted. Just outside the door. Ethan, let me in. His blood turns to ice. It's not just a voice. It's his voice. low, warped, like a recording played backward. But underneath the distortion, it's undeniably him. Ethan grips the bedsheet, every muscle locking in place. His mind fights against the impossible. Silence. Then, something shifts outside. The air grows heavier. A presence, unseen but felt. He shouldn't move. He shouldn't breathe. But curiosity is louder than fear. He stands, slow, cautious. Each step toward the door feels wrong. The peephole is right there. Just one glance. One look, and this will all be over, right? He leans in. Holds his breath. Looks through the peephole. Nothing. The hallway is empty. Just the flickering motel light outside. His lungs burn from holding his breath. He exhales, about to step back, when he sees it. Not a figure. Not a person. But a shadow. It doesn't belong to anything. It's just there, stretching unnaturally across the floor. And then, it moves. A sudden, sharp bang against the door. Ethan stumbles back. The entire room seems to breathe in. Then, absolute silence. The peephole flickers, static. Then, a new image. A face. Distorted. Twisted into something that's not quite human. And worst of all, it's smiling. The knocking had stopped. But it didn't matter anymore, because now, it was inside. His blood runs cold. The voice is wrong. Distorted. Off-key. But worst of all, it sounds like him. If someone knocked at your door at 3 a.m., and called your name in your own voice, would you open it? The morning sun creeps through the blinds, but the light feels hollow. Ethan sits at the motel desk, disheveled, sleepless. His laptop screen glows, displaying a half-written article. His hands tremble over the keyboard. Ethan should have left. Packed his bags. Driven as far from this town as possible. But fear, true fear, doesn't make you run. It keeps you frozen. And worse, it makes you curious. Clicking through old archived newspapers, Ethan's tired eyes scan the headlines. News clippings flash rapidly. Localman vanishes after midnight knocking incident. IT said my name, final text sent before mysterious disappearance. Hollow Creek's missing 50, why does no one talk about it? Ethan stops at a grainy black and white photo. A family home. Abandoned. Windows shattered. A door, left slightly ajar. The article below is faded, but one line is still legible. They heard the knocking. Then, their own voices calling from outside. Ethan swallows hard. His pulse pounds in his ears. Then, another name catches his eye, one he hadn't seen in any reports before. Headline. The only survivor speaks. The lone survivor's story. Cut to a rusty trailer on the outskirts of town. Overgrown weeds strangle the property. The windows are boarded shut. A sign on the door reads "Keep out." Inside, an elderly man sits hunched over, his face gaunt, eyes sunken deep into dark circles. His hands shake as he grips a half-empty bottle of whiskey. His voice is barely above a whisper. Survivor, shaky, distant. You want to know why I'm still here? Why I'm the only one left? A long, suffocating pause. Then. Because I didn't move. Ethan leans in, heart hammering. Survivor. I heard it. The knocking. Just like my brother did. Just like my father. But I knew better. I covered my ears. Shut my eyes. I didn't make a sound. His voice drops lower. His lips tremble. But that thing, it still found a way inside. Ethan's breath catches in his throat. Ethan, quietly. What do you mean? The old man's eyes flick toward a dark corner of the room. His pupils shrink, like he's seeing something Ethan can't. Survivor, a whisper, shaking. It doesn't need the door. It doesn't need you to let it in. If it wants you, it will take you. The air in the trailer feels wrong. Thicker. Heavier. A creaking noise comes from behind Ethan, but when he turns, nothing's there. Survivor, almost begging. Leave this town. Now. Before it's too late. The second night, the knocking returns. Back at the motel. The door looks the same. But something feels off. Asterisk, Ethan tries to sleep. He can't. The survivor's words claw at his mind. The air in the room feels stale, suffocating. The clock on the nightstand glows, 2:59 a.m. Then, the knock. This time, it wasn't patient. Asterisk, a violent, urgent pounding. The door shutters. Ethan jolts up, his breath sharp, uneven. He clutches his chest as the knocking continues, asterisk asterisk. Bang. 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 Asterisk, then, the scratching begins. Something with nails, long, too long, drags along the wood. Slow. Calculated. Tearing at the surface like it wants inside. Ethan's entire body locks up. The motel room feels smaller. Like the walls are pressing in. Then, his phone vibrates. The screen glows in the darkness. One new message. His blood turns to ice. Text message, 3:01 a.m. Why won't you let me in? Ethan's hand shakes as he grips the phone. His throat is dry, his breath shallow. But before he can react, his call log opens by itself. His pupils shrink in horror. The most recent call, made at 3 a.m. But it wasn't an incoming call. Asterisk, it was outgoing. The number was his own. The knocking stops. Silence. But the air doesn't feel empty. The weight of something unseen presses down on his chest. The door creaks. Something shifts outside. A long, slow breath seeps through the crack. And then, the whisper, from the doorframe. I'm already inside. The screen is dark. Silent. Then, a distorted video feed flickers to life, grainy night vision footage from a camera set outside the motel door. The timestamp reads, 3 a.m. Ethan had to know. He needed proof. So he set up a camera, but what he captured. The camera angle is static, pointed directly at the motel door. The hallway is empty. No movement. No signs of life. Then, something shifts at the edge of the frame. At first, it's just a flicker. A shadow stretching unnaturally along the floor. Then, slowly, it rises. A figure stands just beyond the camera's reach. Tall. Distorted. Its limbs too long, its head slightly tilted as if, listening. Then, without stepping forward, it is closer. Its form twitches, flickering in and out of focus like a corrupted video file. The shape of it is wrong, as if reality itself is struggling to contain it. And then, something far, far worse. The door never opens. Not once. Yet, by the end of the footage, the figure is no longer outside. It's inside. Ethan watches the footage, his hands trembling. His pulse pounds in his ears. He rewinds the video again and again. The door never opens. Never unlocks. Never moves. Yet the thing got inside. His breath shudders. His fingers dig into his palms. He is not alone. Heart racing, he rushes to the door. Locked. He twists the knob. It won't budge. He stumbles to the window, hands pressing against the glass. But every door, every window, locked. From the inside. Asterisk, his breathing is shallow now. The room feels smaller. The air, wrong. Then, knock. Knock. A slow, deliberate rhythm, but this time, it's not coming from the door. It's coming from inside the closet. Asterisk, Ethan's eyes widen. His stomach drops. The knocking continues, soft, taunting. His muscles freeze, every instinct screaming, do not open it. Then, his phone buzzes on the table. The screen illuminates the dark room. One new message. Text message, 3:01 a.m. I don't need you to answer. His skin crawls. His lips part, but no sound comes out. His hand hovers over the phone, when suddenly, the knocking stopped. But the silence was worse. A sharp, unnatural creak behind him. His stomach twists. His hands clench into fists. Slowly, painfully, he turns around. The closet door is open. Just an inch. Enough to see nothing. Just darkness. A void that shouldn't be there. Then, before he can move, before he can even scream. Asterisk, a whisper. Right behind his ear. I'm already here. Black screen. The sound of ragged breathing. Shaky, uneven. Then, a faint, wet clicking noise, like something moving unnaturally in the dark. The eyes that shouldn't see. The motel room is completely still. The closet door is open just an inch. Beyond it, nothing. Not darkness. Not shadows. Just emptiness. A void that feels like it's watching. Waiting. Ethan doesn't breathe. Doesn't blink. His body refuses to move. Every muscle is locked in terror. Asterisk, then, something shifts. His gaze flickers to the motel mirror across the room. And that's when he sees it. In the reflection, he is not alone. There's something behind him. Right behind him. But it's not there in the room. Only in the mirror. Asterisk, its head tilts. Its mouth stretches too wide. Its fingers twitch, grasping. Its eyes. They are his eyes. Asterisk, a breath right against his neck. Then, asterisk. The whisper, soft, mocking. Look at me. Asterisk, Ethan's stomach twists. His knees nearly give out. But he won't turn. He can't. If he turns, if he looks, he knows it'll be real. The thing in the mirror leans closer. Its voice is his. Twisted. Wrong. Almost hungry. You brought me here. Asterisk, his pulse slams in his ears. His body trembles. His lips part. Then, his phone vibrates. The screen glows in the dark. One new message. Text message, 3:02 a.m. Run. Ethan lunges for the door. His hands shake violently as he twists the lock, yanks at the handle. It won't budge. Behind him, the mirror warps. The thing in the reflection moves forward, out of sync. Faster than it should. Asterisk, he slams his fists against the door. His breath is ragged, his heart pounding so hard it hurts. He looks back. The closet door is wide open. And inside. Not a closet. Not a room. Something else. Asterisk, a hallway, impossibly long. Twisting. Pulsing. A space that shouldn't exist. Asterisk, and at the end of it, the other Ethan waits. The one from the mirror. Smiling. Asterisk, then, a whisper, directly inside his head. No one ever leaves. The door lock clicks. On its own. Ethan rips it open. Stumbles out into the night, gasping, shaking, barely alive. The air outside is cold, suffocating. The motel hallway is empty. No one there. No sign of anything. Asterisk, except his own voice, calling from the room. Wait. Don't leave me. Asterisk, his chest tightens. He stops. Slowly, turns back. The motel room door is still open. But inside, there's nothing. No furniture. No bed. No walls. Just darkness. A hollow, endless void. Asterisk, and then, stepping out of that emptiness, himself. Asterisk, Ethan stares at his own face. But it's wrong. The skin too smooth. The eyes too empty. The mouth stretching into a too wide grin. The other Ethan tilts its head. Come back inside. The screen stays black for a long, suffocating moment. Then, faintly, distant, the sound of knocking. Somewhere, another motel door. Another night. Another person who won't make it to morning. It knows your name. The screen is black. Silence stretches. Then, a faint knock. Slow. Rhythmic. Too deliberate to be human. Some say this is just a legend. A story passed down to scare those who stay up too late, to keep them from answering a knock that should never come. A pause. The sound of a door creaking open. A breath, shaky, terrified. But others aren't here to tell their side of the story. Asterisk, soft static crackles. Distant whispers just out of reach. So I ask you. Asterisk, a heartbeat sound. Slow. Deep. If someone knocked at your door at 3 a.m., and they whispered your name, would you open it? If this story kept you watching until the end, then you're already part of it. Tell me, what would you do if you heard your name at 3 a.m.? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video if you felt the fear. Subscribe, if you think you'll make it through the next story. A final whisper. I'll be watching.